If you're just tuning in, it's our ladies' night and we're discussing the impact of insecurity, in particular kidnapping, on education. So please let's hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Tweet at us at WayShowAfrica1 with the hashtag WayShow, or SMS or WhatsApp to 0818-038-4663. So as I said earlier, we're opening our phone line, so please join the conversation. We'd really love to hear what you have to say. If you are calling in, please keep your comments to 1 minute and please make sure you turn down the sound in the background so we can hear you clearly. So I want to just come back to something that Nneoma just said. The part of the country that is suffering this, because, you know, it's not like we're ignoring it, but, you know, until it's on your doorstep, that's sort of Nigerian nature. Yeah. We just, you know, we keep on trudging, we keep on getting along with life. But when we talk about this education and what this is doing, first of all, it's happening in the north. Now, in Nigeria, that's where education is already a problem.
Epileptic.
Poverty is already a problem. Now, this insecurity in the area, because from what I understand, you know, in previous shows where we've talked about, you know, places like Kaduna growing up, these were centers of trade. They were centers that were factories, manufacturing, all those things. All of that is dead now because of this same insecurity. So what happens? What's the psyche? Because you were talking about the student that went through it. Yeah. But think about the students who are still in the school. Because the school hasn't shut down. There are other students. Imagine thinking now, every day I go to bed, could this be the day?
Yeah, this could be me.
You know, so the psychological, just the
impact.
torture that will have on those students. As a parent, you're probably thinking, you know what? I'd rather keep you, just come home. If I was a parent with the child in that school, that's the first thing I would do. But when you think about the impact of education, like how is the North going to come out of this? Because this is, you know, sadly, the world has moved forward. Well, we've come away from when, you know, I remember in the 80s, when it was Christmas, you carry your rice to the Muslims.
Oh,
when it's Salah, ram comes to you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But, you know, all the things that have happened, all these factors, when I hear people talk now, and I think it was one of our guests who said, even the Northerners are suffering. Because all these killings, all these, it's their people. It's not foreigners that are being kidnapped. It's Northerners. And so even they are suffering. So what does the future hold? If this continues, how is this region of the country going to recover? Because whenever I think about it, I'm like, I can't even see, there's no headway. I can't think to what the future could actually hold for them. Because now if they're cut off for, what's that exam? No, is it WAEC?
WAEC.
Is like 3 or 4 or 10. Then if they can't even get education now, then how are they going to come out of this?
They say when the elephant fights, it's the grass that suffers.
Yeah.
And this is a clear case of the people suffering for something that they never wanted. If they knew better. And I think that's why I said, I don't know, could it be that there is someone benefiting from this situation that keeps the North in constant darkness, if I may put it that way, where you continue to cripple every opportunity to make the people to rise from mediocrity to being informed and being able to make decisive choices in life. So it's something that is going to, it's taken a process to get them there. It's going to take a process to bring people, and it will take a whole lot of commitment. I don't know, at this point we can't trust the government because they haven't done much to show that the people that you want to govern, I think it was Maya Angelou that said, people don't care what you know until they know that you care. It's your actions that will show people that you really care.
Yeah.
When you're able to provide and secure the people, you're able to provide security, you're able to say, you know what, we are doing something about this. And it's evident, they can see either in your actions that you are making effort or that you're trying. Then it can let people know that, okay, there is hope. But when it seems like we are in this battle alone, sometimes it's it's almost hopeless. Like a lot of people just begin to surrender. You know, then again, it's a battle of the mind. So the more they're being battered, the more the mindset that, you know what, this is our faith.
Yeah.
Whatever comes, if I live till tomorrow, fine. If I die, then so be it. And that's not even a place that you want people to. I mean, we have cases of even people committing suicide. I heard of some of the stories that when some of the children that were kidnapped, that some of their parents died.
Yeah.
From
the Chibok girls, yeah.
They literally gave up life because, like you rightly said, some of them live for their children. So when that is taken away, when the most precious thing is taken away, and the government that said that they were going to do X, Y, Z for the people, and the people are not seeing it, then where are we going, really? So I think people need to see evidence that you truly care. If you are part of the government, I don't know. The truth is that if we really look deep, the solutions are there. But the question is, are we willing? Are we willing to fight for? Are they worth fighting for? Because when people don't see the value in a thing, they may not commit to it. So if the government feels that these people are worth fighting for, then there's always a way out of any situation. Napoleon Hill said that whatever the mind can conceive, the mind will be able to achieve it. If they feel that enough is enough, what can we do? Answers will come.
Yeah.
And the people that can do that will be available.
Yeah. And you know, when you talk about the government, maybe Jennifer will weigh in here. I think that I find it funny when I hear governors talking about the situation being hopeless. I think it was either Yobe or Zamfara. One of them spoke up in this situation. And you're responsible. So I know that, yes, our policing, all our security, most of our security outfits are at the federal level. But when the governor who is responsible for the state doesn't have answers, the question for me comes now, how do we empower? Because our quote today talks about state governors looking at their policies, don't pay. But it almost feels like they're saying our hands are tied. So what can happen at that level, at the state level, to change this? Because it feels like it's in the north. A couple of weeks ago, they were ring fencing Abuja because Boko Haram had shifted to Niger State and the governor in Niger State was shouting. It's moving in a trajectory that we as a nation, we can't afford. These towns in Niger State are what, an hour and a half away from the seat of power in Abuja. So what is it that the governors can do? What can we do at a state level? What could happen? What are the options?
I think so far, like I said earlier, the reason why the governments haven't said anything before now is because it hasn't gotten to them yet. They've not started feeling it. You're over there in Imo State, you're here in Lagos or in Ogun State, you're like, oh, it hasn't gotten here yet. But guess what? It's coming.
Yeah.
You know, initially we used to put the terrorists on that one bracket, Boko Haram. Personally, I think that there are other groups that have come up to make it look like it is just that one group. Like you said, I still feel that there is somebody benefiting from it all.
Always will be.
There are different groups. Nobody can tell me it is just one group. That one group. And it all started from the fact that a Boko Haram member repents, in quotes, and you give him money or something like that, or take care of him. And then people are looking at you. If you're going to do this for someone who has killed millions of people or thousands of people, then, I mean, why can't I just
do the same thing? What of the lives that were lost? What of the people that were traumatized by the experience?
So they already set a very negative precedent from the start. So if the government wants to do something, they actually need to show us that they can do something and stop this. Okay, I can't remember the governor who said, he told his people, if these headsmen come to your land, fight.
Wasn't it the Minister of Defense who said we should defend ourselves?
He said we should defend ourselves.
Yeah.
How do we want to defend ourselves? Were we trained on the field? What happened to the people who were trained for these jobs? Where are they? What are they doing? What are you training them for? What have they done so far?
Have they really been trained?
Well, that's another question. I mean, but it even makes a case now when we even talk about the security operatives. It makes a case, you know, back when the Amotekun conversation started, everybody was all agog, no, you can't. But things like this start to make a case for, if you're going to empower the governors and you're going to try and improve the security infrastructure in the state, how about we look at, you know, the call for state police has been one that we've been circling around and around and around, and you say, look, you need people that understand the terrain, you need people that understand, you know, you find that every time they're bringing in soldiers, they're bringing in security operatives who may not be familiar with the area. But you find that if you have the locals, they understand these places, they can get into the nooks and crannies. So this idea now, for me, I say, look, when we start to talk about solutions, because we can talk about the problems for days.
The longest of time.
But really, if we're serious about getting this done, we need to start looking at things. I mean, I know that the Amotekun side of it has been a little bit tainted with some of the stories that you read in the media, but people need to start to be able to feel secure. What we have today in Nigeria is an illusion. The fact that you feel like you're safe, the fact that you think that your high gates or your dogs or whatever it is that you're doing, you feel offers you some sense of security. But it's all a facade, because tomorrow the size of the problem is huge, and they keep pushing. So you see the way things can very quickly degenerate. But we hope that we have. Okay, so we'll just take a break. We have a call. We have Richard from Lagos. Richard, can you hear us?
Yes, good evening, guys.
Thank you so much for watching. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, meanwhile, good to see that I have another sister from Kaduna and your connection on your program. Yeah. Meanwhile, from what you're discussing today, if you can discover what's happening is that there is a plan to get people off school and education. It's a plan. There's a plan. But most of us are too busy ranting on social media that we don't know what's really happening. And the sooner.
Oh, I think we've lost Richard there. And he was making a very valid point. I mean, one of the, principles of Boko Haram, of course, is the fact that education, Western education, is a no-no pretty much, and that women shouldn't be educated. So a very valid point there. If you start to disrupt that channel, then you're actually achieving one, because now children are not going to school, children are in fear.
Education has been disrupted.
So very, very valid point there.
And once education is disrupted, especially in that area, it means that you can easily manipulate those people when it comes to election. And then also, it is going to affect the economy.
It has already.
It's going to be way worse than what it is now. You, as an employer, it will be very difficult for you to actually employ people who are capable, people who have the skills and the capability to actually deliver on a job. And like Richard said, that's what people are not seeing. People aren't seeing the future.
Bigger picture.
They're not seeing the bigger picture. We're looking at what is happening
We're fighting
now
on the Twitter streets.
There is an agenda,
Yeah.
and that is what we need to look into. Let's not look at the surface. We need to look at those agendas and find ways to actually tackle it. We're talking about 2023 or, election coming up and all of that. We need to start. Now, when you have people who are not educated, the governors, the presidents, whoever is a candidate, it will be very easy for you to give somebody, take 1,000 naira, sell your votes to me.
Broom or umbrella.
Yeah, I give you rice. one derica of rice.
So we have Christopher from Edo State. Hi, Christopher, can you hear us? Hello, Christopher, are you there? I think we've lost Christopher. Well, hopefully he'll call back. Yeah, so...
So they can easily manipulate you into...
I mean, you think about it, they tell you can't read, you can't write. So you go there, press umbrella. But when we even, it's funny that you mentioned elections. And unfortunately, I'm not one of those people that has high hopes for 2023. Okay, so I think Christopher is back. Christopher, are you with us?
I can hear you. Hello.
Thank you for watching the show. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah. See, in a situation, in a country where you have people go into the bandits enclave, discuss with them, come out and tell us what these bandits are saying and even negotiating on their behalf. Do we claim in that kind of country to have a commander-in-chief of the armed forces? It is ridiculous. Our president should come alive to his responsibility. We have gallant soldiers. We know they can do this work. It is clear to every discerning mind that something is going on that most people do not know. How do you have somebody go into the enclaves of these bandits, and he comes out, tell us what these people are saying, negotiate on their behalf, and we still claim that we don't know where these persons are, giving parents unnecessary heartache? Come on. Let us be sincere with ourselves. The government of the day, I believe, knows what to do.
Yeah.
If they want to be sincere with themselves, this problem of insecurity in this country can be off within days.
Thank you so much for calling, Christopher. We really appreciate it.
It's interesting how Christopher brought that up, because I remember some few years back when our military were deployed.
Liberia. ECOMOG.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they were fighting in other countries. That was not even their terrain.
Yeah.
However, they were able to help to find
Peacekeeping
closure,
and,
peacekeeping for some of those nations. And then right here at home,
Defanged.
the same military cannot.
Yeah.
So it begs the question, what is really going on?
Yeah. You know what I hear when Christopher was speaking? So let's look at some of the recent events. BVN, NIN, linked to your SIM card. This money, the ransoms they're asking for, they're not small monies.
Absolutely.
There's cash, these payments, there's transfers. Who is tracking these monies? What? Because, I keep saying it on the show when they say go and register, and I'm like, look, what is all database and database upon database of data? But
And
what
yet
are we
it's not
doing
useful.
it? It's not useful. We still have a huge level of fraud in this country. And these people are moving their monies happily. Because wherever you are, you're collecting this money. Are you sharing it in cash and then it's under your mattress? How? Well, because they're not asking for small sums of money. I think they started off from 800 million on these school students. You're not getting paid small sums of money. So how is this money moving around? Which is why I tend to sort of agree when we say, I think we have another caller. Is it Folari from Oyo State?
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Folari. Thank you for watching the show. Let's hear what you have to say.
Yeah, I just have this simple analysis for the negotiation. I remember growing up, we had the issues of armed robbery, both at home, on the highways, and all of that. Now, I'm fortunate to live in an estate. Now, imagine with the intense and continuous robbery in your area. One of the landlords just woke up and said, don't worry, I will negotiate with this armed robber. And at the end of the day, we'll have peace. Let me just negotiate with them. What's that going to portend? What's that going to suggest to the rest of us? I just give us that to ponder on. Thank you. Well done. I'm enjoying your show.
Thank you so much, Folari. Something to chew on. Context is everything.
Yes.
Amazing.
Negotiate with the armed robbers.
Yes.
Interesting.
Again, you just find that you've opened up a door. You've opened the floodgates. I can't eat. I have no money. Then somebody I hear is collecting millions. No, not even millions. Hundreds of millions.
There's money in this.
I have hand. I have leg. I can carry gun. Let's go.
Let's go.
So you just see that it's self-perpetuating.
We're brewing.
And then, it feels like it's a northern issue. But in other parts of the country, people see it working. So now if I cannot get 100 million, if I kidnap you and your entire family, so I think about what was happening in Ikorodu at one point. You came from abroad, they kidnap you, they get 2 million, they get 3 million. In the East, thank you.
In the Southwest.
You get all these. So
in the South, sorry.
It is now starting to spread. It's no longer the people who have an agenda. It's people now who have seen the opportunity and like, you know what, let's
cash in.
Because that's what we do. We're good at copying, and you know, when we copy, we then take it to the next level
and blow it up.
I can beat my chest that we have a lot of copycats out there. A lot of groups that are just coming up just because nothing is being done about the first people who started it, the first group who came out as terrorists or as kidnappers. Nothing is being done about them. Then why can't I create my own group and start kidnapping people?
And that's how it starts.
That's how it starts. That's
One,
it.
two, before you know it, there are
and nobody has
everywhere.
been made an example of. Do you remember when the huge thing was made about Evans being arrested?
Yeah.
Has anybody heard anything?
Nothing.
So that's what happened. So you see,
if you ask the toy, oh, his case is still in court. Why is he still in court? Why hasn't he been sentenced? Why?
No, now we're on strike. Yes.
That's the excuse.
So, I mean, we've had quite an interesting conversation around this. I'd just like to, as we wrap up, maybe just 1 minute to hear each of your thoughts on, I mean, even just think for the parents. Now, we have children, we're sending them to school every day. Where is, you know, your mind is, I remember I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago when an incident happened in Lekki with the Okada riders and some gunshots. And then these messages were going around on social media about, oh, the Okada riders might retaliate because they're seizing bikes. And I really sat
and thought about
should my son go to school
that day?
Should I send him to school? And literally, he was dressed and said, no, I want to go to school. That's the only reason he went to school that day. But those are the kind of thoughts that parents are faced with now. So, I mean, I'd just like you to quickly summarize your thoughts, just 1 minute. Where are we going? What are the solutions? What can parents do? What can the government do? The government can do everything, but we know where we are. So maybe we should leave the government aside. Oh, man.
Honestly, I'm not a parent. But if I have to put myself in the shoes of a parent, I don't think there is anything you can do as a parent. There's really so much you can do to protect your kids. Now, if you remember during lockdown when they told no more school, stay at home, you do online schools and all of that. But not a lot of people could afford to have online schools. Now, if you tell everybody, okay, go home, no more schools, we want to do this, companies are opening up. Parents have started going to work. Who is going to school with the children? How is that going to happen? Now, the thing is, once they know that, okay, you can say the local teachers around can have like group lessons and all of that. I still have a feeling if you bring up that solution, there will be something. This country always brings up something to scatter it. So what can you do?
I know, it's sad. So we have to wrap up now. Thank you, Nneoma, for joining us. Thank you, Jennifer. It's been an awesome conversation. So Ways was birthed from the need to inform, inspire, influence lives towards action. And this year we've started our CSR focused on curbing unemployment in Nigeria. If you are a company, please partner with us by allocating internship slots. And if you're a job seeker, keep watching Ways and follow us on all our social media handles. This will be an all year round engagement, so tell a friend to keep all eyes on Ways. Here's what we found as today's quote. State governments must review their policy of rewarding bandits with money and vehicles. Such a policy has the potential to backfire with disastrous consequences. States and local governments must also play their part by being proactive in improving security in and around schools, and that's by our president. So see you live tomorrow at 8 p.m. as we bring another great conversation to your screen. Bye-bye.